ideas and a lot of green area. Our land and professor will have no doubt that we agree with our presidential candidate based on his idea and what he plans for Nigeria and Kaduna State as well. Thank you very much. You are very much welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, the National Secretary, the Labour Party. As we continue, please, I request either the security operatives or somebody within the organizers to manage that door, please. We don't want influx of people who are not really invited to this occasion. Thank you very much. I can see somebody closing that door. Thank you. As we proceed, let me, we don't have a formal program here. Let me just invite the gubernatorial candidate of the Labour Party in Kaduna State. Because he's our host, really, so let him say something. Let's hear. Thank you. Honorable Jonathan Asaki.
Your Excellency, our incoming President, Mr. Peter Obi, Your Excellency, our incoming Vice President, Dr. James Baba Ahmed, Your Excellency, our National Chairman, Barrister Julius Buri, our very vibrant lady in our midst, Aisha Yusufu, our national officers that are here, our erudite professors and members of the academia, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this time to thank God that He was here this afternoon from our various destinations, and I want to thank all of you for the volunteering efforts you've been making in your various ways, for your sacrifices that you've been making to ensure that this country gets back on its feet. I know we are here to listen, to interact, and to see how we can forge ahead, because our country right now is at the precipice, and we cannot allow it to topple over. You are highly welcome, and I thank you for coming. I pray we are going to have fruitful deliberations here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Jonathan Asaki. Please, can we give you a round of applause? Each time I see Asaki, I'm always very delighted. I'm sure you know why. He's the defender of the masses. He's a young man that wants something good for this country. He has been a dogged fighter, and to me, he represents what the real Nigerian youth represents. Do you agree with me? That's why, frankly speaking, when I saw him trying to partner with the Labour Party presidential candidate and his vice, I'm so delighted. I also delighted. Yes. A new Nigeria is possible. A new Nigeria is possible. A new Kaduna State is possible. Thank you very much. So remember that there has been an established protocol here. So anybody who is asked to speak either from here or here, let's try to follow that established protocol. Thank you very much. So now we are moving very fast. Very soon we shall get to the interactive session, the one that most of you want to participate in. Please, let's give honor to whom honor is due. I want to invite the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, and by God's grace, the incoming vice president, to really talk to us about our
brothers and sisters of Kaduna State, fellow academics, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure to be here with you here today. It is even greater pleasure for me to come in with our incoming president. Peter Gregory Obi. We are campaigning differently from what you know. This is a break from the norm. This is just not your normal everyday campaign. That is why we're seated here quietly. We are seated with people of substance. We are sitting with intellectuals. That is why even the atmosphere is different. Forget what you met outside. It was by design. And we forgive them. If only they can see what we mean for Nigeria, lots of people will not be behaving the way they're doing. Now, like this is strictly like a working visit for us. I say it's a working visit because what you discuss with us is going into our action plan. This is not just a talk show. We have just resumed from 8 months on presidential strike. The system is as bad as anybody can imagine. So all I will do is to tell you that we are campaigning differently. We have a very, very special position for academics in our hearts. The world of education is commanding high priority, just next to securing and uniting the country. We will not talk much because, like I said, this is a working visit. Mr. President, in waiting, will address you briefly. He will resume his seat, and then we will entertain questions in answering. And we will be taking when you're asking your question, we appeal, you just state your name, and if there's one comment, make that one comment, and then straight to the question. And it will be one question while he gives the answer so that we know how he answers questions. So he just did it for us at Chatham House. Yes. But this is an in-house event, and it is about education. So we want you to feel firsthand who Peter Obi is and what Peter Obi can do for Nigeria. Once again, I welcome you. Please take the fullest advantage of this system. This is a very, very important system. Like I told you, we are campaigning differently because we are differently intended for this organization. Thank you so much. With that, I pass the microphone to His Excellency. You see, you're working with a hands-on leader. We don't believe in ceremonies and bureaucracy, and we mean business. His Excellency, incoming President, Mr. Peter Obi, has directed that we go straight into Q&A. Who is Dr. Professor Majo, the accomplice, recognized the individual. So His Excellency's speech is coming in the form of answers to your questions. Okay? I repeat, his speech is coming in the form of answers to your questions. Professor Marcus Ogara is going to conduct the Q&A. Thank you so much.
It's okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please ask them to calm down, please. Just before I hand over the mic to Professor Ogara, I'm told that the ASU chairman, Kaduna State University, is here and is representing the Northwest branch or branches of ASU. Are you here, Peter Adamu? Please, can you stand up, please? Okay, yeah, it's over. Thank you very much. So, where is Professor Ogara?
Peter Adamu will be the first man to ask the question.
Thank you very much, His Excellency and everyone here present. I want to thank the organizers of this very event for finding us to be part of this interactive session. We ended a very difficult strike action. We took about eight months or so, and at the moment, our members, that is academic staff, are demoralized. In fact, some of our very senior professors in the universities across the country are advising young ones like us to leave the job. Yes, because they are telling us that there's no prospect at all in being a lecturer in the university. And we that are just coming up, we have seen it very clearly. In fact, myself also, I'm already thinking twice. And because government come up with policies and sign agreements that they don't end up fulfilling. So my question is, if by the grace of God you form the next government, will you jettison this agreement already on ground? An agreement that has spent about 12 years without being reviewed. So what will you do with this agreement as regards collective bargaining for the betterment of university education in Nigeria? As we know, the Constitution has it that education will be given to citizens. If I up to the level of university, so what is it that you have as a plan to make sure we make our universities competitive? And because we have seen so many Nigerians go abroad to do better. So what is it that you have in Nigerian academics in your government? Thank you.
Please, who are the people manning that gate? Everybody who is here should sit. There are seats here. Don't stand up. If you are here for this program, be seated. Be seated. And let's be a bit quiet also. Those manning the gate, please help us. Thank you.
The next question will be from Dr. Atayu.
Your Excellency, I stand on the existing protocol. The combination I see in the front, there is, I think, only the national chairman, but the remaining, there is none of them that I don't know his biography and I have not read about it. Some are my immediate brothers, like the vice presidential aspirant, we came from the same ward. And all that made what Dr. Atahiru is today is courtesy of his late dad, Baba Ahmed. Your Excellency, I was opportune to serve in your state. During that time, it was I served at Government High School, Amobia. 20-something years later, I went for accreditation at Federal Polytechnic, Togo. I saw the transformation. Whatever question I asked is pointing during your tenure. So we have no fear that the combination of these two gentlemen will certainly do so many things in our lives. My junior brother and aspirant of Kaduna State is my junior in university, and we were colleagues in the Polytechnic. He knows the value of education. Merakuni and what I do, my conscience is that you know how at a very alarming rate in this country. And you know that education is the bedrock of any society. So I want you to inform this gathering your towards the radical during your tenureship as a governor of Anambra State. Thank you very much, sir.
The next person to ask question is Professor J.A. Wani.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm standing on existing protocol. Mr. Incoming President,
Please, can you suspend that attendance you're taking? Let me have that data. I think that's what is causing this noise. And let everybody listen as well. It's supposed to be a very serene meeting, not a noisy one, please. So where is the paper for the announcement? I mean for the attendance. Bring it here. Prof, continue.
I'm standing on the existing protocol. Our incoming president to be Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, the presidential candidate of Labour Party. My name is Professor Julius Atomapoli of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Without sounding immodest, I want to remind us again that education is the bedrock of development. And we have looked at this country and we have seen our basic education. We have looked at tertiary education, all of which are in a mess with the high level of out-of-school children. And not only that, efforts in the last, from 2015, we had a figure of about 10 million out-of-school children. Now it has gotten to over. There are no genuine efforts at stemming down the tide of the number of out-of-school children. Apart from that, we have seen within these few years, these past 8 years, that the issues of funding, infrastructure in our educational institutions, strikes in the educational sector, and lack of motivation, lack of respect for education are at the lowest ebb. And we know that the teacher is very important in the educational sector. And he is being treated like dung. What will your administration do on the issues of funding, on the issues of infrastructure, dilapidated infrastructure that we find ourselves having in our country? Lack of motivation and disrespect for teachers. Thank you very much.
Next is answer first.
Please switch off your phones too.
Please, I'll plead with you that we'll have enough time when we go to rally. So show your support. What we're doing here, this interactive section, I believe we'll go a long way in again discussing our issues and solving them. Let me start by thank you for this opportunity of this interaction with everyone. And I thank all those who are involved in organizing it. Like I was saying in the first presidential campaign when I was coming, I said, go there if we meet only 2 people, we talk with them. And it's important
what we are doing is not normal in our Nigerian system today. But these are the things that are lacking. Wherever we see, I insist on going to talk to the university students. I insist on talking in the campuses. We will do that today. I'm sure subsequently we will not be talking here, we'll be talking in the university and your colleges. Whenever we are doing that, they are future. So I thank you for that. The three questions that I asked brothers and sisters on education. I didn't see any difference between them. ASU chairperson started by asking about issues of relationship, whether we are going to keep the agreement, whether we are going to respect the agreement. And then the second person went on the similar thing, and then of course issue of funding, issue of taking education seriously. Coincidentally, when I was coming here, I sat in the car with two people, the governorship candidate, and him. I asked him what I told him. Exactly what we are talking about. That's why I'm going to meet. I said to them that, but unfortunately, the way we served Nigeria in the past several years is like somebody who went to exam and he was asked A and he was answering B. And then when they said to him that you failed, he said, what are you talking about? Can't you see the beautiful answer I gave you B? But that's not what you asked. I said, there's a measure of development that is accepted globally. There's a clear measure of development that is accepted globally. And that is human development index. And it's measured only by three things: health, education, and per capita, which is fully. It's almost 20 years below the global life expectancy. The primary care has collapsed. I just tell them, so you failed the health. As a higher education has gotten worse. You're telling us about education. Global average intake of tertiary institutions is at 8%. We're 9%. There are 20 million of school children. So you failed in education. And our people have become poorer. Before this republic came, we had below 100 million people living in poverty. Today, 1.3 million people are living in poverty. That's fair. So when I ask my colleagues, what is that? I do the bridge, I do flyovers, that's not the what I asked. You went there and you have felt yes, and because you asked a different thing. How many people did you pull out of poverty? That is the question. People have become poorer. So, what are we going to do about education? Education is the engine of growth of any society. The more a society is educated, the better the society. And it's more domiciled in the north. When we talk about lack of school children, it is more domiciled in the north. When we talk about failure formal health care, it is more domiciled in the north. Nigeria has overtaken India in infant mortality. India is 1.4 billion. But we have more in death infant mortality than India. They are 1.4 billion. We have overtaken India in absolute poverty and multi-dimensional poverty. For number of people that are multi-dimensional poor in India is 16%. The number in Nigeria is 63%. 3%. That is the crisis we face as a nation. It becomes imperative that for those of you who are involved intellectually, whether 1 or 2 or 3 or 7 years, this is not time to think about. It's time to go beyond where we used to be. The road we've traveled, we're on the wrong road. Our compass is not pointing in the right direction. And unless we change it, we consume everything. It has nothing to do with getting me anybody. Education is engine of growth. We will do whatever is necessary. Nigeria is funded completely in education. You go and check the last 6 years, then you include this year, between 2015 and 2021, which is 6 years. Go and check what Nigeria has invested in education. Nigeria has invested only about 3.6 trillion naira. Our total budget is actually just a little bit below 3.6 trillion. It's a country of 200 million people. That's about what South Africa invested in 1 year to a country of 60 million people. That's what we did in 6 years. In health, social is important. This year's budget, I'm going to check. Our budget in education for the full year, federal government is 2 trillion. Health is about 1.5 trillion, 1.5 trillion, which is the highest ever, so 3.5. Our budget for criminally managed subsidy is 3.6 trillion for 6 months. No country can do that. So we're going to revise and deal with the issue of education. And I'm happy that the ASU chairman asked that question. You can go ask your colleagues. As governor of Anambra State, ASU was on strike. I sat down with them for several 1 to 3 months. We decided how to fund our university. In the last ASU strike for 8 months, Anambra State University was not included for the 8 months. No one on strike. Since 2009, they've not gone on strike. First, I will tell you that whatever we say, we'll keep to it. Not the agreement. We won't come to the agreement. Everything I promised as a politician, as a public servant, I did it. And everything that we're going to promise, we'll do it. I don't have the time to waste again. Where we are now. Any mistake on a cliff, that's the end of it. So we will keep our agreement. We want to create a new Nigeria. We want to let it go. The money we promised you, the agreement of 2009, we didn't get to fulfill. We didn't fulfill it not because there was no money, but because there was no government. Fulfilling it was very easy. What was the value of the agreement? Chairman, what was the value of the agreement? It was 1.2 trillion. It was 1.2 trillion and 200 billion was paid. Remaining 1.1 trillion. This country has borrowed in the past 5 years, or in the past 7 years, we borrowed about close to about 63. So are you saying that education is more, we cannot find one country, for example, that is not producing our quota, apart from Venezuela? Because nobody is investing in that and because of criminality, people are sitting at home. And those who are still on now, and those who are supposed to manage it. If we calculate the loss even if it's what we're supposed to share with other people. We would have paid your bill in 1 month. In the month of July, our oil production, throughout the month of July, our oil production was 1,053,000. What our quota is 1.8 million today. But on the average we produced in that month was 1,083,000 July last year. If you want, so every day we're losing 717,000 barrels. If you multiply by that one, it will give you 22,227 barrels of oil. The average price of oil in July last year was $110. And if you multiply with that, it will give you exactly $2,445,000,000. And 60 is 1.4 trillion. 1 month. No country of president. And it can't continue. So funding is not a problem. Fund education where, for example, we have to start with universal basic education and start pulling those people out of school children. We want to bring them into education. Most of those people they call the out of school children, actually, especially in the north, have learned and read Quran. We will meet them where they're learning that and teach them skills. They don't need to be formal school. We will take the school to them. Because now they're learning that we can teach them skills. And if they don't have skills today, they can do anything. I'm a driver. He used to work with me, and they said, I saw him the other day, said, I'm going to London. It's going to the UK. Jack. He said, they're employed to come and drive truck in London. Because today in the UK, they're looking for people to drive truck, buses and everything. So I said, how much are they going to pay you? You will not believe it. But why is that you going there? Because it's learned basic speaking of English. It's gone to basic school. If you go to Dubai today, go to everywhere, you will see that most people who are there driving cars and everything are Filipinos, Christians, Americans, everything, because they've learned not just that they're Muslims or they're Christians, they've all learned basic skills. And that's what we did. So we can put this people out of poverty. And that's what we're going to put them on. We're going to make sure we find a combination to ensure that I've said in every university will not go on strike. We'll try to fund universities. We'll try to support schools. We're not going to say to the lecturers, remember what I said, we're not going to say to you, you'll be paid for not doing it. No, Nigeria must be productive. Yes. Everybody must work. We're not productive. And that's what we want to stop. So for me, education is critical and it will be properly funded. Rest assured, like I said, that you have asked the same question. It revolves around our attention to education. Education is number one, and number two. Number three, we will drive it in such a way people can see we have the right budgeting for it. We don't have the right, we don't have the money, but you will receive good attention and you will use good supervision, good care, other sources. There's no one source to fund a tertiary education. There's so many sources. Government will contribute, companies will contribute. If it means students know anything that we can do, we'll do it. Whatever Ghana, Kenya, everybody is doing to give their school old rules, Nigeria will do it.
Please switch off your phone or put it on silent, please.
Can we have the next set of questions?
Good afternoon. The members of the High Table is having privilege this afternoon that people I used to see on social media and close to them today. I want to say this is a unique opportunity today, and I want to ask this question. This question borders around what my colleagues said. Ishaya Tatu Auta is my name, and I'm from Kaduna State University, Kaduna. Now, there is one thing that is bothering, and if you have that thing captured, all the issues that surround education in Nigeria will be sustained. Let me talk about security. I remember in December, people from my area have to cry. We will mourn and mourn and mourn, burying our relations and loved ones during the festive period. And I believe that the president, incoming president by God's grace, now they have a lot of challenges that have to do with security. Sir, I know very well when we talk of security. Now, those who are at the helm of affairs are protected. So what we are feeling, they may feel it, but they are not in our own shoes. Some of us have abandoned our houses, rent places, no money, you suffer, you are suffering from this side and this side. My incoming president, what will be your strategy to allow us, Nigeria, to allow us in Kaduna State to go to bed with our eyes closed?
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I have this question to ask. Okay, my name is Professor Dauda Ishaya from Ahmad Bello University. Always, whenever I sat down and look at the natural resources this country is endowed with, and then look at the predicaments in the education system, honestly, I always lament. So my question is this: Your Excellency, will it be possible when you come as the president of this country during your own regime for the youth of Nigeria to have free education at all levels from primary school up to at least first degree level in Nigeria? The next question is coming from Dr. Sani Dauda.
All protocols duly observed. Actually, it's a great privilege to have the youth ably represented in this team. When I saw the team, I have full confidence that we have no iota of complaint to make because the team are made up of the youth. So please, My Excellency, sir, actually, the global countries now are moving towards technology development. I am Dr. Sanidara from Kaduna Polytechnic. We train middlemen with high level of skills which can promote the country forward. But unfortunately, the policies on ground are not encouraging the youth to engage in the educational sector, especially the discrimination between the HND and the DSC they couple. What is the government going to do in order to raise these middle men? Some countries we visited, Singapore, China, Malaysia, they depend on these skills centers trained by these manpowers. Thank you, sir.
Please, can you take
We have 3 questions. Let me start with the question asked. If you have opportunity of reading a manifesto, which are if soft copy, that the judge of the best would go and look at it. Our first plank of our manifesto said to secure and unite Nigeria. To secure and unite Nigeria. And let me tell you, the problem you have in Nigeria with the issue of security is not that the enemy or criminals are more formidable than government. No. It is basically, it is not that the enemy or criminals are more formidable than government. No. It is simply that there's a lack of leadership, a lack of organizational structure, security organizational structure to deal with that. And I assure you that we will lead from the front. We will ensure we will secure Nigeria. Because it is the basics. It is the basis of good citizenship. I spent my Christmas in IDP camp in Benin. I spent my New Year in IDP camp. And I told them, as long as Nigerians are in IDP camp, all of us are in IDP camp. That's like I tell people, don't tell me Borno is not safe. Kaduna is, or Kano is. If any part of Nigeria is not safe, Nigeria is not safe. And I want to deal with that issue right now. And you will see it. We will win those who want to be win, and we'll deal with those who refuses. If it's going to be a war, we have to save our country. But we'll deal with the issue of security. Rest assured, it is important that we have a secure Kaduna state where people live in peace. I've asked a question on free education. Perhaps universal basic education. And that is primary and secondary. Once you have basic education, the next one will be free. Because that basic one can drive you. University education, further education is important, but not necessary. It's needed, but it's not inevitable. If somebody who didn't have it, I always tell children when I was in school, said to them, let me tell you, going to university is very important, but that doesn't mean you don't go to university. The whole world will come to an end. The biggest company in the world today we celebrate is founded by Steve Jobs, who didn't have the opportunity of going to university, but at least he had a basic education. Microsoft will get left to university, released to be a job, but then it's important to have basic education. We will invest in it. But we will also support the charity education. For those who want, for that I said we will fund it by a combination of so many things. And that combination will be government-led intervention, corporation intervention, and if possible, a combination of loan and grant to ensure that it remains open and consistent, ensure that our university professors, but above all, I keep saying, above salary and everything, care, respect, orderliness. You can't expect where a university professor, like I want to go to you, should end at the cancer. Honestly. They have anywhere in the world. We cannot negotiate with bandits and refuse to negotiate with prophets. When last is somebody who says, anywhere I've been in the world, prophet has celebrated. No. When last anybody who says is a governor, president, who said I want to do this is the number one institution. They should come and sit down with the lecturers and students. How much are we putting in research today? What are we doing in scholarship? So these are things we need to reverse. Not just about we're not going to have free education. Whatever we promise is what we deliver. We will do everything possible to ensure that support is given to education and everything. And the last question is on issue of there's no dichotomy. The reason why you see dichotomy is because we value paper. You know the greatest school in India today. The greatest school in India today is a school that was funded by British government. At the same time, they funded the same thing in Nigeria. Bombay Institute of Technology. That was established almost the same period as Yaba College of Technology. That's produced the greatest number of intellectual power billionaires in India. Yaba failed. We're talking about that because of public certificates. Yes. If not, those people with such skill should have been employing those who have degrees. Yes. Which is what it should be. It is Steve Jobs that is employing those who have skill. Steve Jobs didn't go to university. Steve Jobs was picked in a modelist, in a care home, in a modelist baby school. That's why he was adopted. And he went to school, had basic education, but he created an Apple computer with his friend wasn't. They were not university graduates, but they employed PhDs. So if Microsoft, Bill Gates, will get left to university, it didn't finish. And I can go on and show you corporations after corporations like that. Forget about paper. Talking about conducting, talking about building what is there. We will teach our children entrepreneurship. So they don't need to. When they have basic education, you teach them skill, they run with it. Those things will be dealt with. It is people who see it happen and everything. So continue doing what you're doing. Forget about discrimination and all that and all that. That's all where we are. And it shouldn't exist. And if we find out that it's something that we need to change, we'll change it. But rest assured, we're going to discuss everything that will make the society work. And we're going to do it.
The last 3 sets now, just 3 more. That's all. Please sit down, those of you who are standing, and no more phone talking. Off your phone and please on silence, please.
Professor, you are looking at me as if.
All protocols duly observed. I'm Professor Peter Ariba from Kaduna State University, and I'm Professor of Applied and Computational Mathematics. So I'll be talking more technical here. And I want Dr. Detti, if time permits us, I will meet him to discuss other issues that extends from this. I've seen your vision. It's quite interesting. The vision you have for Nigeria and the mission that you are undertaking to achieve that. But something really bothers me in this mission. Nigeria is embarking on digital transformation in terms of voting. And that is very important, using what we call the BVAS. And when you look at that system, it's an electronic system. And the question that comes to your mind is that this system is built on the concept of database system, because there is a database there. Now, what troubles me actually is, for each party, there is a primary key. And since there is a primary key for these parties, then also there is a foreign key. For instance, if A is a polling unit, B is a polling unit. If I want to match the votes of polling unit A and B for Labour Party, I need a foreign key to do that, to link those tables. Now, what bothers me is, because the beavers operate offline, and when there is a network, it can automatically upload to the required server. What is actually disturbing me is that you should make an effort to ensure that the linking of the tables are linked on one-to-one basis. Because if they are not, then there may be a problem. For me, it's an information I'm giving you, but I'm sure that time will permit me to discuss with Dr. Betty in detail.
Thank you for Mr. President.
Thank you very much. That's why it's interactive, and I thank you for this knowledge, you know, and especially for your promise to discuss it with that. As you know, what you're saying, I don't know. Anybody who knows everything that needs you, I don't worry. So it would be nice that we discuss it with you. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President and your team. My name is Iboy Ayuba. I'm the convener for Northwest, Not to Your Vote Northwest campaign. And for us, we're impressed that a significant number of people who are impressed by what the Labour Party has put out as their manifesto are young people. And one question I would like to hear being answered in this room is, what is the key policy for young people, women, and people living with disabilities? Because these are a category of people that oftentimes they form a chunk of the voting population. Based on the statistics, we have over 70% of young people who would serve as voters in the 2023 elections. And you can attest to the fact that these young people are excited by policies that the Labour Party or the manifesto of the Labour Party. What is the exact policy? Where is our entry point as young people? What is it that you have scribbled down for people living with disabilities? We have some of them that are exceptionally intelligent, some of them that are exceptionally innovative. What do you have on ground for them? And women also. The marginalization, I almost experienced it in this room too. My hand has been up like from the first batch, but I got through the last batch, so it's fine. At least one woman spoke. So for me, what do you have for women on the table? What are the cards? I'm impressed that we have someone like our famous mentor. We look up to her, Aisha Yusufu, on your team. Yes. It's amazing. She is equivalent to 10 men. Yes. Because we have someone like that. Some of us younger women are excited when we see her and the things she put up. So for us, we think that there should be something on the table for women. And what is that thing for women? So for young people, for people living with disabilities, and for women, what is the strong policy that the Labour Party has put up for this category of people?
You want to? Sorry. So the women are not raising their hand.
Your Excellency, sir, I'm Comrade Engineer Shabayan John from Luban Polytechnic, Samuel Katab Campus. Sir, from all the questions and answers, everybody is doing well, most especially Your Excellency. We answered so many questions about security, education, and all whatnot. But I want to bet you one. Let me put this back to you. I, as a lecturer, cannot go to the class while I'm hungry. Secondly, the students too cannot go to the class while they are hungry.
My question is personal. What do you think you and your team will do in the aspect of agriculture so as to secure food in this nation? Thank you.
I think I was supposed to now conclude on everything. So let me start with the lady. Thank you very much. You actually answered the question. Consider Aisha is 10 men. We are 8 10 women and 8 men. But let me assure you, this government that we propose will be led by the youth and women. I've been going to universities. Even I started invited her. She's not a politician. I invited so many of them. I said, you know what I wanted you? I want you to come and criticize what we do. I want to learn from you. Because it's very important. So let me assure you that we're committed to it. Why are we committed to the youth and women? Because that's the future. The youth are the future. We need to invest in them. The crisis you see in Nigeria today is those we abandoned yesterday and refused to care for.
Yes.
Have become a problem. And we must go back and care for them. Those people who failed to educate yesterday, those people who failed to invest in yesterday, have suddenly not allowed us to sleep. Yes. And we must start reversing it. The only way to reverse it is to invest in the youth. I was there, my brother that was there yesterday, when I told one of the British ministers, if you have the situation we have in Nigeria, you have crisis. We have near 40% unemployment in Nigeria. We have near 60% youth unemployment. So you have young people in their productive age with talent doing nothing. They don't know where the next meal will come from. Yes. If we don't know where the next meal will come from, nobody can predict what it is. So we want to invest in them. Genuinely, no. That is why when people talk about me about education, I said, I'll sit down and discuss with everybody. We must build a just, fair, inclusive society that addresses the problem of everybody. That is how societies work. But I've said it repeatedly, we will make it work. So it will be youth. You'll be willing to do it. I work with women always. Go and check in my record as a woman. My chief of staff is a woman. Permanent Secretary Government Office, Head of Service, woman, Commissioner for Finance, Commissioner for Education. And so on and so on. Everybody knows. I work with them, so it will not change this time. Rather, it will listen. You asked an interesting question. It is not about people being hungry. Agriculture is engine in which you see me say it everywhere. And I continue to say it. The greatest physical asset of this country is your cultivated land in the north. The greatest physical asset of this country is your cultivated land in the north. Nigeria cannot be hungry. It's impossible. India is 1.4 billion plus. India feeds itself and exports agricultural products. Nigeria can do similar things. Nigeria lives We are occupying now around 3,000 square kilometers of land for about 200 million people. India lives on 3.2 million square kilometers. That means we have a third of Indian land space, and we are 1/7 of their population. So we have more land space.
Yes, proportionate.
There's no reason why we can't feed ourselves. If you look at the poorest places in Nigeria today, the poorest state in the north today, almost 8 or 9 is from the north. And it will shock you. These are states that can solve their problem. The biggest #1 state is Niger. Niger is 76.3 thousand square kilometers. Fertile land. Fertile land. And they're waiting to take, that's why we said we're going to move Nigeria from consumption to production. They're willing to share from the statutory allocation. As I speak to you, almost 7 local governments in Niger State is under control of bandits. No school, nothing is happening there. I've interviewed them, they have no job. Have youth who don't have job, so they've taken bandits. Niger State is 76.3 thousand square kilometers of fertile land that can feed anybody. And most Niger State can receive for such allocation in a year is about 50 billion after deduction of their debts. Netherlands, without water, is 33,000 square kilometers of land. What it then shows, and 2021 export of Netherlands in agriculture is $120 billion, 103 billion euros, $120 billion. Niger State gets 50 billion naira in sharing of revenue because we are sharing country. Yes. If Niger State was able to do 5% of what Netherlands would do, because they have 2.5 times their land space, we're able to do 5% of that. It's $6 billion. And 650 is 3.9 trillion. Call it about 4 trillion. That's 80 times what they share for their money. But they are waiting to share. It cannot happen any longer. It is not possible. Kaduna State is 1.5 times Belgium. Kaduna State about 46,000 square kilometers. Belgium is 30.9. That's 1.5 Belgium. Go and look at what Belgium was able to do in agriculture. And there's it's more populated. Belgium is more populated than here. They have winter, they have everything. Go and look at what they're able to do. Because we're not a consuming state where we're not doing anything. All we do is steal public money and waste everybody's time. That's what we want to stop. I can show you countries that states that these are states that I think Borno State, Sambisa forest area is 60,000 square kilometers. That's 3 times the size of Israel. Israel 22.1, that's 3 times the size. So there's so much opportunity. There's so much we can do with land. Oil, California, Texas is not the richest state in America. It's California because of agriculture. And like I told that when we're coming here, it will change, and I say it, I'm saying it in this old capital of the North. We will pull people out of poverty in this North. We will change and return not to what it used to be. Lucky for us, the Bank of Agriculture is here. That's where we stand. It's the first bank that will be capitalized and made to function and put more on the line. So my dear people, we can change this. We have the talent and energy to change it. We cannot continue this road we are traveling. We cannot continue this banditry where people have hijacked the political process. Because what we have done is that people have hijacked our political space. We hijacked taken over by criminals who have refused them, and we're following them. And the issue of when election comes, they come and say, oh, we're from the north, we're from the east, we're from the west. Guess what? The same people, they use their sentiments and cunning to get in power, become the greatest victim of their bad governance. Well, check it. Soon after the election, they disappear. The same people they told we are Muslims, we are Christians. Tell me where Christians buy bread cheaper than Muslims. Tell me where Christians buy bread cheaper. So we can go and buy it there. Everybody's suffering. But when election comes, they start reminding you. And you follow it and think, oh, it will be better. Soon after, it's just a Kaduna is not safer than my state. You can't go from Kaduna to Abuja. You can't go from Abuja to Kaduna by air, rail, or road. Anyone you're going, you're living in fear. Is it because P2B is president? So you say it's Igbo man who caused it? Is it because Obasanjo was? So you say it's Yoruba man? No. So let us, this time around, ask ourselves a fundamental question. Unexamined life is not worth living. The more the time you sit down and ask yourself, is our children going to continue this trajectory? Are we going to repeat the anarchy? Because some people really want the confusion continue to stay. So we're going to deal with agriculture, but I'm using it to end my statement and say, election of this year should not be based on tribe, ethnicity. Please. We've had that story a long time. We are Nigerians. This is time to talk about Nigeria. This is time to love Nigeria. We manipulated those people. That 20 million youths, 20 million young people out of school was created by this method. Deliberately. So, they have not helped them. They remain poor. If they are educated, they won't be living in the bush and as a professor. So we must pull them out of it. So no more story. But like I was saying, no ethnic group finds bread cheaper. It should not be based on religion. No religion has full unemployment. Everybody is suffering. When they have to strike, they don't pay Muslims and not Christians. They don't pay Christians and leave Muslims. If you're a professor, you're Muslim, you're suffering. Were you not suffering? Were you paid? The same thing is like all the sugar suffering. Everybody is suffering. The bandits don't ask your tribe. They don't ask your religion. He complained that it's a village in Kaduna. They can, their money, they kill people. It's a village, man. So we have a problem. Everybody have a problem. Yeah. And how do we solve that problem? We now have to remove our ethnicity, remove our religion, and be patriotic and compassionate about our country called Nigeria. Let nobody tell you it's my turn. It is nobody's turn. It is turn of Nigerian people to take back. If there's anybody who will claim it is turn, I should. I come from the southeast. Yes. I'm a proud of my origin as a Southeasterner. But I'm more proud of being a Nigerian. And I'm contesting the election as a Nigerian. And because I believe in Nigeria, like I told him in Chatham House, I look forward to the next 10 years when no Nigerian will say where it's coming from, but to say it's a Nigerian.
Oh, yeah.
So election of this year, must be based on character we can trust.
Yes.
It's a character issue. Come and tell us who you are. Come and tell us your background. Tell us those schools you attended. And let's go and make my name is Peter. It's not easy. My name is Peter. I went to private college and I went to University of Nigeria. If you go there, you can. The present VC, GVCs are all my schoolmates when I was in university. And if you want to Google other schools where I can claim them as alumnus, you can go and Google it. You can Google Oxford, Cambridge, Kellogg. It's there. Lagos Business School. If you want to know other places I went to training, I was 9B, Switzerland, I was in INSEAD in France, London School of Economics, everything, they're there. It's documented. So don't go and tell us the story. Everybody knows my age and date and everything. That is the way you want character. And above all, we want people who are competent. We want people who are competent to come and serve us. It's a competence issue. We want people who are compassionate, commitment. And above all, this job is a job for people who are physically and mentally fit. You can go and check an average age of us. I can introduce all of us to you. If you look at the main parties, number one for party in government, their chairman is 75. Chairman of the other one is 70 something. Our chairman is 2 years old. Those are people about youth. If you put the age of me and that together and divide it, on average, when I'm 50s. The other one, nobody knows their age. The one we know is 70. So if you take the one we know, it's 70. The other one, nobody can know. That's not how we want it. No, my dear people, we want to build a new Nigeria. And a new Nigeria is possible. Help us to build a new Nigeria. Yes. Not to celebrate me if I have opportunity of starting here. Thank you and God bless
you. Wow, I'm sure you are all so happy hearing from him. From the Holy Lord and swear. Please take your seat.
Goodbye, everyone.
We are all closing now.